Hi, hello, welcome back to Sarah's Space. Just did my thumbnail, just scrapped a 15-minute video because I started yapping and I had no idea what I was doing. But to still do the thing where I still want to record, I'm just going to try to get as far into this coloring page as I can while occasionally rambling about something. Because as much as I didn't want to scrap that 15-minute video, I wasn't happy. So now we're just going to continue. The book I'm going to be using is the Mind Clay Happy Spaces coloring page. In another video, I can show all of my other coloring pages because a I have a plethora of them. I really do enjoy coloring. I think coloring is so freeing, and instead of just I'm just gonna decide the title later, I guess, because what irritated me is I decided the title in the beginning of the video, but everything I yapped about in the duration of the video was not the same. So, we're gonna I'm gonna, try to just let myself exist. These things are so good. I got a bunch of fiber in them, but it's okay. Well, ASMR. I made all of these except I made all of these. It's a bunch of little bracelets, the little charms, the little jingle jangle. Gives me so much serotonin. This is the coloring page so far. So far, we only have the fireplace in the works and the candles. Okay. So, one thing I'm realizing is that, as much as I'm trying to be patient with myself, there's a fine line between, okay, don't scrap the video. Oh, these don't have to just be regular white candles. Hold up. Instead of just going, oh, I'm just going to scrap the video because I'm not happy with it. Or it was more so of, oh, I don't want to stop recording because, I don't want to do the thing where, like, I record something and I never post it. But it's also just a fine line between, like, if I'm genuinely unhappy with the video, that is a dark color. I'm just not going to post it. And that's kind of what had happened. I wanted to record today because it is the first. I'm like, oh my gosh, yay. Happy 1st of December. I hope the rest of this month goes amazing for you and that, going into 2026, everything goes the way you planned or goes the way you want. I know at least for me, 2026 is not necessarily a new year, new me, because I literally never say that because, like, a lot of people say new year, new me, still same person, still same habits. But going into the new year, the goal is to just continue to be myself as authentically as possible and doing everything that I said that I was gonna do and not putting things off onto the if I want to do a purple candle, I'll do a purple candle. I don't just have to do it because it's not Christmas themed. But why don't I make this a pink cutie Christmas tree? Or why don't I'm just gonna make this we're not gonna just do the regular red and green. We're just gonna do whatever. But just being myself as authentically as possible. Because at the beginning 2020, when did I go see ATs? 2023? 2024. I want to say I went to go see ATs in 2024. And the day, these are the markers I'm using, by the way. These are the Ohuhu Honolulu alcohol markers. It's the 48 pack. I got them off of Amazon for $49.99, I think. I love them so much after using my girlfriend's, and I'm like, I need to buy my own, so I did. These are the markers that I'm using, and just a stereotypical, just some copy paper under it so it doesn't bleed through. But I went to go see ATs in the year July 2024, and I also got broken up with the day of my ATs concert. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was like so amazing. Anywho, at the tail end of that breakup, I realized that going into relationships or going into friendships, I was going to approach them so differently. Because one of those things was like, you said you would never let yourself get glitter. You said you would never let yourself get to the point where you were like putting other people's needs before yours, and you were like, you said you were never gonna continue considering people when you weren't considered, and that is exactly what happened. Now, I'm not blaming myself because a lot of things that we do in the moment are what we do because we feel as if it's what's best. So I don't really hold any resentment. Now, did some of the things that I do, were they kind of questionable? Yes, but I don't hold it against me, because those things are what we do. We do a lot of the things that we do because it's what we think we need to survive. It's what we think we need to like get by. That's it. That's all. And so I just remember like crying at work and everybody asking me if I was okay, because it was also then when I realized, dang, I can't mask anymore. Because when you go so long just like showing emotion or just being this one specific person to everybody, like me, I was like the life of the party. I was like known as an extrovert. Guys, I am a diehard introvert. Me and people, we get along on the occasion. I'm not just necessarily just like a people person. But when you go so long being like that one person to everybody and suddenly you're not, it's like, oh, what's wrong? Like, what's okay? And it's not even one of those things like I couldn't even just say, oh, no, I was okay, because I wasn't okay. I was like, I had just got broken up with. And it was one of those sad things where it's like, where I wanted the relationship to work, but they didn't. So it was like, oh, so you don't care about me as much as I care about you. And that was like a punch in the gut, especially since I had put in like, time and effort and I was willing to make things work. It felt very bad. It felt like a punch in the gut and a smack in the face. Just not a very good feeling. And then from then, And then from then on out, I was like, you know what? We're not gonna put ourselves in this position anymore. We're not gonna care about someone more than we care about ourselves, because every time I was like, oh no, it's okay, it's fine, it was not fine, or oh, it's okay, I understand. I'm tired of giving you the benefit of the doubt, and every time I just kind of like brushed. Every time I brushed my feelings and my wants under the rug, it was just more bubbling resentment and more just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, so in the bathroom, when I finally was like, you said you weren't going to do X, Y, Z, but you did. You have no reason to like cry. You kind of did this to yourself. While I am someone who holds empathy and compassion for myself, excuse me, but at that very moment, I was fed up. So I was like, okay, you know what? Forget it. Wiped my tears, went back to work, and it was fine. And then from then on there, I started my self-love journey. I started picking up on my patterns and like my anxious avoidant attachment. Not anxious avoidance attachment. I don't know. Started picking up on the things, because like one thing I will say, being in that relationship did in fact help me be able to communicate and stuff a bit more. Like that's one thing I will say. Like the communication aspect was like pretty chill until it wasn't. But I was able to apply those things to myself. I was like, okay, what do we want? We're finally going to start considering ourselves, because it seems like you only consider other people. So now is your time to be selfish. Now is your time to be, like uptight. I won't even consider it being uptight. I'm gonna go ahead and add some highlights to these because I want these to kind of look like they're sparkling and glittery. So these are the gel pens I got. Courtesy of my girlfriend. Love her. Which one is the skinny one? I need the one that has a tiny tip. Found you. And now I'm just going to add in some white spots so it looks like it's glitter. But from there, okay, so am I someone who manifests? Yes. Did I manifest my current relationship? No. How my current relationship came to be, I texted my now girlfriend like maybe a couple weeks or so after I had broken up with my ex. Okay, this is what we're looking like so far. This is my little candles. You can't see that. You can't see that. But, oh, sorry. You can't really see that, but I just did the top. Cute, 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 cute. I texted her at the time like, guess who's single? Why? I don't know. It was also possibly one of those things where it's like, you know, anybody who already knew that I was in a relationship, we're just going to go ahead and make sure nobody asks me about it when the time comes. So I don't have to try to go through the whole story. We're going to give you the spill now, and then we don't have to give you the spill later. Ooh. So I did that. And she was also working. I was also working. But it was one of those things where it's like, oh, you know, if she can work and then still make time for me after she clocks out, why couldn't the other person? It was just little things like that. It was like, okay, if they're deliberately taking time out of their schedule. Sorry, I thought this was a 2-color. I gotta do the swirly world myself. It's like, oh, you know, they're deliberately taking time out of their schedule to do this. Why couldn't they? It was just the little things. It was like our friendship was still besties. Our friendship was the definition of like, you know, I see you, you know, like I see you, you see me. And it was probably one of the friendships where I didn't feel ashamed to be myself. She saw my quirks. Mind you, this is all still part of my, like, you know, self-love journey. Like, honestly thinking back to it now, she is like a very big part of it because, well, I see a lot of people say, you know, your self-love journey, you know, it's eternal. It comes from within, you know, you're doing the work yourself. But when you're also in the midst of like battling those thoughts where like, oh, you know, I'm too much, or I'm annoying, or I'm this, or I'm that, having someone like on your team that is affirming you, that's like, oh no, you're not too much, oh no, like you're not too loud, or oh no, you're not this, it's also very healing. And just I enjoy it because we were also surrounded by another person who honestly and genuinely made me feel so bad about myself. It was like, I did a little mistletoe and stuff. What time is it? Okay. They made me feel so bad about myself. Like, imagine. Okay. That's when my self-love journey started for real, August 2024. And it continued, but got really, really heavy beginning of September, mid-September-ish. And then like me and my girlfriend got together late October. And so, but this person, they often told me I was too much, or I was too loud, or I was just too any and little everything that made me. No, it was just like a no. It was like a no, like no, like too much, too loud. You just blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, oh, okay. Why do you keep wanting me to be around you if you keep thinking all these things? Like, I don't understand that. Don't understand, but it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. I soon realized that those thoughts were. I've been looking for a color, and it's just not. It's just not. It's just not popping out at me. I soon realized that. Oh, it's my face. I soon realized that everything they told me was simply projections, because when someone's unhappy with themselves, they often project really hard, especially on those who seem to have a better grasp and understanding of who they are inside. Now, at the time, like I said, this is the beginning of my self-love journey. This is when I was like, okay, you know what, maybe I'm actually, not that bad. Maybe I'm not like, like too much, blah, 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 blah. And then comes this person telling me everything that goes against everything that I've been telling myself. And I'm like, okay, cool, And then, so it was funny because, like, the treatment, this person was also a mutual acquaintance of my girlfriend. And so it got to the point where it was like, they were getting, they were getting jealous over the treatment that I was getting instead of themselves by my girlfriend, who at the time was my friend still. And I'm sitting here like, what is there to even be jealous over? Like, I'm not even necessarily getting special treatment. Like, I'm literally just like, like existing. Like, I don't understand what you're. I don't understand what you're talking about. But to them, I believe that's how they wanted to be treated. They just. I'm not saying nobody deserves. Everybody deserves to be treated with like love and kindness and respect. But if you were acting the way that that person was acting, I understand why you were not getting treated a certain way. Like, my girlfriend wasn't being mean to her. It was just more so like, like, me and my girlfriend were down bad before we realized we were down bad, bro. Like, what do you mean we're just kind of like casually holding hands? It wasn't even like nothing crazy. Like, at that time we were like purely platonic, but we still had like, set boundaries. But moral of the story, the girly pop who was jealous, it got to the point where her projections became a bit too loud. Because what do you mean you're asking people, don't you think she's just too much sometimes? Don't you think she's just like, like this? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, little old me, like, what did I do? And then I was like, okay, cool. And then there were times where I hung out with her without my girlfriend, and the treatment that I received when my girlfriend was present versus when she wasn't was a little different, or a lot different rather. And it was just one night, it really just rubbed me the wrong way entirely. Like, what do you mean? This is my dorm. You're supposed to be dropping me off at my dorm. Why did you drop me off here? Okay, so after that situation, I told my girlfriend, who was my friend at the time. She was like, and then from there we just kind of started rambling about our different experiences, and we was like, okay, this makes sense, that makes sense. And then it was like, okay, no, it was actually never me. Okay, maybe it was me, but it wasn't me in a way that I thought it was me. It was like, actually, I wasn't the problem at all. The problem was someone saw me being authentically myself, and they did not like that, because I am just going to assume they were not, happy with themselves. But that has nothing to do with me. Like, I hope they find genuine peace and, XYZ. But that was like the pinnacle of my self-love journey, because I was able to take a step back. Excuse me. I was able to take a step back and realize, wait a minute, I'm actually cool. I'm actually amazing. Like, I didn't need my then friend, now girlfriend, to tell me, like, oh yeah, no, like, you're not going crazy. It was more so of a, oh, I realized that the fact that I'm now trying to step into my power, step into being myself authentically, bothers you, that it's in fact going to bother everybody who's unhappy with themselves. Which I noticed that now. But from there, we kind of just separated we distanced ourselves, and me and my now girlfriend, we would we watched Big Brother together. The mutual pining. I wouldn't say it's pining. That's a stupid spelling of that word. It went crazy. Like, it was just so cutesy, so like, why do I have this color? So cutesy, so authentic, and it just makes me so happy. This is what I have so far, guys. I literally just did that. It's more so, um, you know. I lost the plot. Oh. I lost the plot. Moral of the story, you gotta do what you gotta do. I am just so glad that, in my self-love journey, I did have someone who was constantly by my side, because at the same time, there was things happening in my family. Like, one thing that literally sent me into a spiral is when someone told me, the world doesn't revolve around you, and then it literally just it sent me off into a spiral, because I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I know the world doesn't revolve around me. I'm literally just kind of, there's like so much, but it's fine. Well, sorry, I'm fine now. It's fine. There's been a lot that's happened that has kind of shaped how I am now, but my self-love journey, which is still something that's, like, ongoing. Like, I think I'm gonna get this blanket blue. Guys, I'm losing the plot, and this video is already like 22 minutes. Well, now it's 23. But self-love, it did get to the point where it was like, and what? I don't know. I lost the plot. I lost the plot. That's all. There will probably more than likely be a part 2, maybe, of me finishing this. I don't know. If you want a full story time, comment down below. I guess subscribe. This is my first time ever saying subscribe in a video, so like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.